Some of the most important stakeholders in education, not just in the province but in South Africa as a whole, are teacher unions. And some say they wield way too much power, so much that some of the problems that are facing the education department in the province leveled against them. Let us hear from them. Let's start with SAT, which I believe is the biggest union in the province and of course in the country. Some of the problems in education are leveled against you. Do you accept that?
Good morning to you and to the viewers. First and foremost, I'm Chris Mdingi, the Provincial Secretary of the South African Democratic Teachers Union. We wish to distance ourselves from any kind of allegation that is leveled against us because it's not of our making. Truth be told, the starting point for us would be to say at some point not so long ago, in the previous financial year, we were told that some provinces have been lended money from the province of the Eastern Cape for infrastructure. Today we are told about a budget that has been reduced without having accounted for the money that was said to have been given to other provinces like Gauteng and others that were able to use the money, and that of the Eastern Cape that was not utilized has never come back. That should be our starting point. Looking here, because we say the taste of the eating is in the pudding, teacher unions do not build schools. And here is the testimony where we are. We need not to look any further, because we've been saying this and we have been taking the battle of our communities upon our shoulders, because it's where you would find our members on a daily basis subjected to those conditions. For argument's sake now, there's a child who has lost life in Bizana. If it was a teacher, he was to be held accountable. Will then the Department of Education account for that and take full responsibility? And the question that arises is, how many lives must we lose under these conditions? How many teachers should break their legs and whatever on the basis of dehumanizing conditions? It can't be, and expected to excel in their work. Recently, we invited the same Department of Education when we're celebrating grade 12 results that have improved because of teachers who go an extra mile. And to date, we have not even received an apology to say why not. The department did not avail itself in those, because it's extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. That's what we're doing. Thank you ever so much.
Sir, let's hear from your colleague from NAPTOSA.
Good morning and good morning to the viewers. I'm Loiso Mbinda, representing NAPTOSA, the Provincial Chief Executive Officer of NAPTOSA Eastern Cape. Let me just touch other issues that my colleague has not touched. For instance, in our province, we're having a shortage of maths teachers. There are so many schools out there that are without maths teachers to date since the beginning of the year. And also in the process that is trying to assist that, it is not accommodating the foreign educators, which mainly that's where we are drawing most of teachers that are capable of teaching these subjects. And coupled with that, there was an instruction that was issued out in 2014 by the Department of Education with the indication that by 2019, 90% of the learners in the Eastern Cape would be doing mathematics and 10% will be doing maths lit. But without the maths teachers in place, how that can be achieved? Secondly, currently there are schools without teachers in front of the learners, and that is not a making of the unions, but is the failure of the department. For instance, 1,589 posts were advertised and the bulletin closed on 7th of November, but by 15th of February only 489 posts have been filled. 1,100 posts have not yet been filled. And that also spills over to the question of the lack of capacity within the department.
Right, just see the guy from the UDM has been itching to talk to us. Can we hear from you, sir?
Yes, my name is Tando, chairperson of UDM. I think I want to come close to NAPTOSA. The reality is that we have situations where learners at grade R and grade 1 who are repeating the standard, grade 3 and 4 repeating the standard, and then we can't expect at grade 12 that you have a good matric results. The reality of the matter is that you don't have teachers who can occupy critical subjects insofar as giving a curriculum. because there is no relationship between primary school and high school. The feeder schools that are supposed to be actually giving direction to high schools have no relationship, simply because there is no management in terms of your EDOs, your circuit managers and subject advisors. I think the education, what needs to focus more, without undermining the issues of infrastructure, the issue of curriculum becomes a critical aspect, because we know even in the olden days, there were kids who would learn under the tree and yet they will produce good results. And I'm not undermining the necessity of having infrastructure. But if you have a right teacher, you have the right skill, people who have been properly qualified to do so. And I think the department must actually focus on that. And for us as UDM, issues of curriculum and issues of performance should be at the center of the child. And that's what we should be focusing on.
It's almost 8 o'clock, and in no time I would expect that the bell will ring in this school. But before that happens, we will hand over back to you guys in studio. We still have more to talk about right here. Stay tuned on SABC 2 and SABC 404 as we are continuing with this broadcast from East London.